Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey now. All right, man.
Yeah.
We have made it. Mike, you're cleaned out back there, man. You're missing all your good stuff, dude.
Dude, it's terrible, man. When I moved into this apartment 9 months ago, I came here with like 3 trash bags full of shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I fucking bought a TV. I had like a TV and a mattress I got at IKEA on the floor. And like, dude, now I'm moving and it's like I don't know how I got so much shit. I got like boxes and boxes.
It's incredible. You got the bookshelf behind you, empty now. So you're
Empty
packed,
in the box. Yeah.
ready to rock. That's good. You're moving when? Are you leaving Friday? Is that the move out date?
Friday, yeah. I think I'm gonna get the U-Haul Thursday loaded up during the day because the kicker is not only do I have to move on Friday, well, I got to be out of here by Saturday, like 5 o'clock or whatever. And this week they got me working overnight at Lou Malnati's, so
What? I just can't wrap my head around this one, actually.
brutal,
I mean,
brutal.
I complain often to Emma about our roads here in Denver and how we're a month in at this point and we've gotten one lane out of four on each east or north and southbound or east and west, whatever it is. They've got
Right.
the inner lanes done, but no other lanes. And it's this slow roll. And I keep complaining, why don't they work at night in Chicago? That's all you would see at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're cruising home. You're shrinking down to one lane because they're crushing some road work, or at least they used to. I don't know how they do it in the Brandon Johnson world.
Sometimes depends. They're still. I've noticed they just started doing it more. I think it's getting too ridiculous, and a lot of so he's up for election next year, I think.
Right.
And already everybody that's running against him, their number one talking point is look at the traffic.
Yes.
You can't move in Chicago. Bro, did I talk about the fucking bike lanes and the accident with the fire truck?
We alluded to the bike lanes in episode 1 and we got carried away. So here we are, Tuesday. Mike, give me the lowdown on the bike lane scenario, man.
I've bitched about it before. It's in the worst neighborhood. Nobody wants to ride their bike in, but they decided to put oversized sidewalk, bike lane, parking lanes, and then the traffic. So I've talked about it before where when all the parking spots are taken, you got to pull out into traffic to see if traffic's coming. So there's always accidents, right?
Yeah.
The other day I'm driving into the city and I was on Grand Avenue and they got one of these stretches where it's like that. And there was this dude like maybe 5 cars up from me. I'm like the 5th car in line and we're hauling, right? And this lady just creeps out of a fucking intersection, right?
What, dude?
So the first car just plows into her, right?
Yeah, man.
They're taking up the whole spot now because the lady that pulled out then hit the oncoming traffic car, and just like that, you have a traffic jam that can't move. And there's parked cars.
Exactly.
So now nobody could move. And we're sitting there, and after like 10 minutes, I could just see off in the distance, after this endless sea of cars, this fire truck trying to get through. He's got nowhere to go because you got parked cars, sidewalks,
right,
bike lanes.
You have only one lane each direction to actually move down. if you're
Yeah,
an automobile that needs to go forward in space and time, because you've got the
yes.
concrete barriers blocking the extra laneage with where the bike paths are, then where the you got the parking spots,
Then
right?
you got the parking spot, yeah, so you gotta go over the concrete barrier, which they made, like, a ridiculous, like, 6 inches. It's like a 6-inch curve.
It's absurd.
D
I've seen the
but
pictures.
it's so fu d long story short, this fire truck, after, like, 20 minutes, this guy behind me in a truck just drives onto the sidewalk. Like, he went,
Yes.
like, through the parking
Hell
lane
yeah,
and then just
man.
went on the
Yes.
sidewalk and drove on the sidewalk around the whole mess, and I just fucking followed it. I backed up, followed his route,
Yeah. All
and,
right.
but dude, all I could think is, like, what if somebody was hurt? The ambulance, the fire truck, nobody could get through.
Yeah, but everybody feels really good about having those bike lanes put in, right? Like we're all feeling very
But we got
safe.
this bike lane that nobody you know what I didn't see once in that whole situation? Anybody on a bike.
No, no, no.
Hundreds of people trying to get home in cars, not one person on a bike, anywhere to be seen, and all this because of the bike lanes. Thank you, Democrats. Thank
Yeah.
you.
This is a calling card of the Democratic Party, especially in these major urban areas. Here in Denver, we have bike lanes in industrial areas that are only occupied by homeless guys on bikes carrying trailers with the bike. You know, and they're just pumping along in slow motion, clogging up the bike lane that nobody's using anyways.
But
That's
then
all you
then
got.
it's the chicken and the egg. Are these guys riding a bike with a cart because they have this beautiful bike path? Or did you build this beautiful bike path because the guys with the carts?
Wow, great call.
So if
Yeah,
you build it, will they come situation.
right. Yes. Because otherwise, the dude would probably just be blocking traffic riding on the road with his giant cart.
I mean, you're not even
Maybe.
gonna have a cart with that bike if it's just like a dirt path,
Good call. Yeah.
you know?
I'm really blown away by this. I live off of a major road called Wadsworth, and it goes all the way, east and west or what have you. I could take it from my house all the way to downtown Denver, basically.
Oh, nice,
It's one of
nice.
those kind of side streets. By where I live in my neighborhood, they are starting a massive construction project on this gigantic kind of median. It's not a median, it's this middle section between the two main roads, and it's just grass and
Yeah.
ditches. And they started working on it, and in the process of it, they've had to shrink down a few lanes here and there. And Emma and I have been cruising up and down it the last few days, and I am a broken record with it, which is if the final project is some retarded bike path in the middle of these roads so people can get to the bus stop that's down at the end, I'm moving. That's it. I'm not
Yeah.
living
Oh,
here anymore.
dude.
That will be the final straw. I will move because they built a bike path. Because I'm looking at this construction logically from an efficient standpoint, from a commerce standpoint, I can see where, wow, there's a lot of traffic here. If they were to widen these lanes, you could improve the flow of traffic. But I really
Mhm.
been kind of stumped on this one. I cannot think of a single project on the roads that I've seen in Colorado in 5 years where they improved the flow of traffic, where they did something to
Right.
widen the roads or to add extra space for cars to maneuver and get off and enter. There's not been a single project like that. Every project is concrete barriers, shrinking the roads, adding bike lanes
Bike lanes.
for homeless people to use, basically. That's all we're getting.
And
So,
it's because these politicians believe that the bike lanes will reduce traffic because not them, they're not gonna ride bikes.
right.
They're
Yeah.
still gonna have their car. But all
Yeah.
you scum, you're gonna you're gonna ride your bikes now. Frank,
The,
you should ride your bike to work in the middle of a snowstorm.
right. Or tomorrow it'll be 102 degrees outside. So
Yeah, ride to work.
and of course they decided to stop chemtrailing during this heat wave that we have going on, right? So
I know, Bill Gates, please.
step up your game, bro. But yeah, you're right on the money. What they want is they want us living in our 15-minute cities.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
want you
goal.
close to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the pain is the point. That's
Yes.
why the highways don't move.
Yes, man. Yeah, I
Uh,
watched a funny video actually on Twitter the other day. It was an experiment the Japanese did like 50 years ago. It's a really old, scratchy video.
the circle,
Did you
right?
see this? Yes, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I saw
So
that, yeah.
they had cars just driving in a circle to test how traffic happens, and they concluded that traffic just happens.
No
There's
matter
no
what.
yeah, it just
There
naturally
was no
occurs.
stop signs,
No,
there was no
nothing,
it's just
dude.
you get too many people.
W What it is you get one lazy person or one person who doesn't know how to drive, and it creates the clog. You just need that one clog.
I think no matter what, you start the, accordion, but it's, like, not necessarily a lazy I don't know, that's the only way we'll really end traffic is when we get rid of the human drivers.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yes,
Because
definitely.
the fucking the robot isn't gonna care who you are, what you look like, what car you're driving. It's gonna let the car in if
Uh,
it's the best,
Also,
most efficient way.
well, dude, the robot's not gonna be driving like this. Like,
And then
like
not going on
yes,
green. Oh,
exactly, dude. Or just you're on a highway, all right? If no one has stopped in front of you, the general idea on a highway is you drive forward. Like you keep driving forward in motion to get to your destination. You don't just stop there staring at your phone, right? Like that's all I see
uh,
constantly, man. And for me, when I'm traversing the traffic here in Denver, I'm identifying the clogs. And you can pinpoint because we don't have actual real traffic here. There's nobody here. Everybody's left Denver at this point, and we kicked out the migrants. So there's just no reason for traffic. It's just a bunch of stoners going nowhere, But I always try to identify the clog, and you can usually see it. There's a clog up ahead over there. This clog is moving a little faster over here, and then I got this medium level clog. So I'm going to try and maneuver these two clogs, and eventually I can get past that clog and get into the free piping that is the highway ahead. Because in Denver, you can see open road all the way in front of you, but you got these 3 dudes in front of you not going anywhere. And
ah,
you're
I
just like,
know, it's
"Oh my
so
god," like,
annoying.
that's
And
why I
they can't
told
just
you.
drive behind each other, like, they have to be
Exactly.
right next to each other, blocking every lane.
Well, society has collapsed.
Yeah.
I've concluded this a long time ago. Just from a traffic standpoint, we have completely collapsed. We no longer follow rules or norms. You can go slow as you want in the left lane. You don't have to have a license plate anymore. You don't even have to be a legal American these days, actually. You can just get behind the wheel and start cruising as slow as you want. And so the societal breakdown is kind of what I'm dealing with here in Denver because when I was in Chicago and we went to that Cubs game, the traffic was traffic because there's so many people going downtown at the same time.
Oh, and the express lanes were closed
And they
because of
closed
the
the express.
construction.
Right, exactly, dude.
No!
But here we have express lanes. We don't have a lot of people, and it's just you can literally see the open road ahead of like a few cars that are in front of you, but nobody wants to go to the right lane. Everybody's a narcissist. Everybody has their lane. They're going to go their speed. And if you start to encroach too close, you better watch yourself, buddy. I'm brake checking you, man. I am brake checking you until you are almost totally dead stopped in the lane, which happened to me yesterday, by the way.
You know what I've had for, like, the past, like, 3 days? Not the brake check, but, like, the guy who, like, had to get past you, he's in a hurry,
Right.
and then you get behind him because he's flying in the left lane, and then slams on the brakes because he missed his exit, and then
Yes.
slams on the brakes and then just cuts over 4 lanes. Insane.
And you're the asshole,
And
Mike,
I'm
for
the
not letting him go.
asshole.
No, I've been dealing with this a lot with the brake checking. It's very huge here in Colorado. They're very big on the if you're going too fast, I'm going to stop you from moving. That's people's
Ah,
mentality here,
yeah,
which is
that's
totally
crazy.
insane. That is mental insanity in my book. To be so obsessed with people behind you that you're going to delay your own arrival to your destination, you are mentally
Yeah.
insane. You are just completely bonkers. You shouldn't have a license to drive. You should be
Shouldn't be allowed
locked
to
up.
vote.
No, definitely not allowed to vote. Oh, I already know you voted for Kamala Harris.
I
That's
already know you're vaccinated. I already know you support Ukraine. I already know you support Hamas.
I told you they're working on these roads, one at a time, slowly on I-25. I'm a bougie elitist. I take the express lane, but it has to eventually merge onto I-25. And there was a Beamer in front of me, and we're cruising, and there was a little unevenness with the lane because they were working on one of them. And
Mm.
so we start to merge. The dude in the Beamer comes to a complete stop. Totally nuts. We're going 85 miles an hour here. I mean, we're flying
Yeah.
here. Comes to a complete stop. So I instinctually just bump to the right of him and try to go around him. He instantly speeds up, goes in front of me in the next lane over, stops in front of me, and then when I go around him again, he flips me off like I'm the asshole. Like
You
I did something here, just trying to avoid this guy. I'm trying to avoid this idiocy. I don't want to get into an accident. You clearly don't know how to drive, but now you're going to go in front of me out of your way, then stop, a complete stop, and then wait for me to go around you to flip me the bird. Man, we got some serious problems in our society right
A
now.
lot of mental illness. Yeah, I blame the SSRIs.
I blame TikTok. Everything
Oh,
to me
yeah,
is
TikTok.
TikTok. Everybody just melted their brains for 4
It r
years.
it really did, huh?
Yeah, dude. Man, so living it tough these days, man. You're
Break check.
dealing with the traffic, and now you're working late night at the Illuminati's. Is that right?
Yeah, dude, I had to fucking go to school today. Still in
Wow,
plumbing
man.
school.
Yeah, it's so sad and pathetic. It's
So
unbelievable.
so sad. Not even joke. It's not even a joke. When I started, I still had hair. I just saw a picture of my first roto. I gotta find it. It's my first roto rooter license. I still had hair. That's how long. I hate the union.
It's crazy, man. Yeah,
Fucking hate the
tough
union.
times having to do that.
COVID and then the union, everything just fucking stacked against me on that one.
I know, and then you were just doing a job the other day and you got robbed, man, which is totally insane.
Robbed. Ugh.
Completely forgot about that one. Was that like 4 days ago, 5 days
It's
ago?
terrible, man. I felt so bad. $17,000 just gone.
I mean, that sucks because it's your equipment, right? You have like a personal connection to the tools,
Bro, but
right?
I gotta set the scene for you, right? So we're there all day televising these sewer lines at this school, and there's a giant 6-foot fence around the entire playground and the parking lot, right?
Yeah, man.
And we're going from the parking lot to the playground. There's security guards, there's teachers, and there's kids outside. So I put my camera and the monitor next to the basin we're about to go to next, and then I just go back to grab the other stuff. And before I even made it to the other stuff, it was gone.
Wow.
It was just gone. As soon as I walked away, they unlock the fence. They have to unlock the gate when the kids are out in case there's an emergency.
Oh, that's like a protocol.
So
Wow.
apparently this like 6-foot fence was great in the morning, but once the kids got let out, it was open.
And they didn't tell anybody with the thousands of dollars of
With
equipment
the
hanging out, working. Yeah, that's right.
$17,000. And then this fucking guy just fucking this guy just walks onto this playground. Apparently he had a gun. He just walked on, grabbed it, and ran off
With the gun, dude?
with the gun. That's why nobody did anything. That's why nobody's even tried to stop him.
Holy cow. I mean, that.
Because you had kids, you had everything, and you just let him take it.
Wow. I'm
They s-
actually.
they said as soon as I turned around, that guy was getting out of the car.
So they were probably watching you
They were watching
the
us
whole
all
time.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Wow.
Fuck it, $17,000 down the drain, gone.
What's he gonna do with it though? Is he actually gonna go sell that stuff and make a profit off of it? I mean, you're talking used plumbing equipment. It's kind of
Yeah,
gross,
they'll
right?
get a few thousand. That's why they love them because they're gonna get $4,000 or $5,000 out of it.
Wow.
And I'm just more mad about all the video footage I lost. Like literally that they dude, I was like almost done with this giant job. I had so many videos on that monitor. The worst part was I had to wait for another camera and then redo the whole fucking thing I just did.
Oh, they stole your camera and the TV and everything?
Everything. They just walked
Wow.
off with they just ran off with it. 2 black guys.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was using my imagination with this one, so, I was erring on the bigotry. Just keep that in mind. I already had an idea of
Yeah, of
I
course
wasn't
it was.
I wasn't assuming this was Tren de la Agua. Alright, that's,
Nah, I'm telling you, man, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the Latinos, they got their problems in the neighborhood, right?
yeah, man.
But they don't fuck with the schools.
Ah, they have morals,
The
is what you're
the the black neighborhoods, they'll rob you right there in the playground. The one guy got out of his van at at a school parking lot, and he just had 3 green dots on his chest. They fucking robbed him.
Wow!
Yeah, 3 guys at gunpoint.
Don't you guys have laws for this? Like, no guns, no open carry, gun-free zones? What happened to all
Gun-free
these
zones,
ru
yeah,
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 right.
yeah.
So, you're saying these people, these perpetrators, they're not following the rules of the gun-free
You're
zone?
not gonna believe it. You could write all the laws you want, but unless you have somebody to enforce them,
Oh, right. Who could you get to enforce laws like gun-free zone laws?
we should we should really hire some of those guys.
Maybe like a
May
social worker or,
maybe fund them.
yes! Oh, right,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Well, I think whoever defunded the cops should be the one that personally writes you a check to reimburse you for your lost $17,000 of equipment,
yeah.
right? That should be the rule. Like, all right, I'm Brandon Johnson. I'm a black man raising 2 black kids in this city. It's tough for us all, but I tell you what, if you get robbed, I'm going to personally reimburse you for everything that gets stolen.
You don't even have to reimburse me, just go find out where they sold it. How many
Right.
places I guarantee you it's at a pawn shop somewhere, you know what I mean?
I'm surprised people need to still, partake in robbery and thievery and all these things when you have government sanctioned robbery going on these days. Uh, we were talking about it the other day. I found another one,
Look at this shit.
and you just have these people. They're buying 3K in food stamps there. Look at that, man. Yeah, they're boogieing down. They got their money. $3,000 in
Not an
food.
apple in that cart.
No
They got 2
bananas.
carts, no
Yeah.
apples,
I didn't see any
nothing,
heads
just
of, yeah, no lettuce, no bananas. Yeah,
just
good call.
frozen garbage, a lot of Jimmy Deans,
Corn dogs, man. They got the jumbo corn dogs.
corn dogs,
3K though.
cereal.
Who's spending that much money at the grocery store, man? It's
Yeah, that
cultural
can't be
though.
a month.
Is that what they're doing? Are they shopping for the month? I
I
guess
mean,
this is a cultural difference, I guess, because I'll say this, I shop probably 3 times a week actually, cuz we buy vegetables and fruits and meats and, the veggies you can only really hold on to for a few days, really, if you want to try and stretch it. So we're typically shopping about twice a week. We freeze our meats for the week and stuff. I went to the farmer's market on Sunday, got some fresh cuts and all that jazz. But, to eat right or at least eat healthy, you got to shop a couple times a week. You can't just go once a month and buy out all the stuff. The only way you can do that is if you're living off the ultra processed foods.
right.
So these people are celebrating that they spent
And
3 grand.
no, but just that alone should tell you something, that it could last longer than any fresh food.
Yeah, nothing that lasts should be is good for you. I really,
No,
like pasta, dry pasta that could last for a while. You
but
get
even
yourself
that after a few months. What do they
yeah,
give
it's
you, a few months?
probably not that good. You can have a can of tuna in the cupboard there for a while if you want. I think canned tuna lasts for a long time, sardines, and you
That
kinda
kinda stuff. Well, 'cause it's in an oil, so
yeah,
it's gonna last
right.
forever. You know what got me was, ranch. It always gets me 'cause, you don't use a lot of it, but if you buy, like, the all natural shit or whatever, it goes bad really fast.
Yeah, well, you need to get the Hidden Valley that lasts for 6 years, right? That stuff is nuclear, man.
Dude,
Yeah.
so average Snap household receives 332 a month,
Wow.
and, what they're saying is you get about 177 bucks a month per person. It's actually not a lot.
Yeah, that's not a lot, but where where are these people getting off then just spending 3 grand in one go on jumbo boxes of corn dogs and Chips Ahoy and all that crap we saw in the other video? It's just kinda
Oh,
crazy to
okay.
me.
Average with children is 574 a month.
Oh, so you throw the kids in there
Yeah.
and they give
See,
you
the
more.
the deal is that's why they don't get married. That's like the scam. You don't get married and then you're a single mom.
Sorry, a little music on that one. I got it cut off there.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we got another one.
7 kids.
Yeah, man. And she's loading up the ramen and the bottled water, got all the sodas going there. It's just a crazy phenomenon that I was not aware of, but it's a cultural thing, it's a health thing, and it's funny to me that as we go down this Maha movement in time, we have so much opposition to guys like RFK. And I showed this to you yesterday or this morning, I think, but M&M's and Skittles maker resists RFK Jr.'s demand to
It's
remove
crazy.
synthetic dyes from the candies. They are fighting RFK from
Ah,
removing the poison, the petroleum food dye out of their candy. That is,
everybody stop eating that candy.
do not eat
Stop eat that
Skittles.
candy.
Yes, dude.
Because if they're
But
literally fighting in court to keep the petroleum dyes that are poison in, what else do they have in there?
right.
You know what I mean? They'll
Yes.
put anything in there. They don't give a fuck.
And we watched that video yesterday or 2 days ago of the lady with her kids, and she had the Chips Ahoy and the Twizzlers and every
Yeah.
candy you could think of. Everything in that woman's cart had all the petroleum food dye in it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
So gross.
I kind of when it comes to the food stamp thing, I understand where the
Mm.
government is coming from. They know you're only gonna spend it on poison, and they want you poisoned. So that's why they love giving people the food stamps.
Oh, good call.
Think of the people who are using the food stamps, the culture of people that are more into the food stamps than everybody else. This is a poisoning going on. That's
They
what this is.
they never look healthy.
Right.
You never see somebody on food stamps that looks healthy.
Yes. Yes, dude.
That should tell you something, right?
Right. Yeah. You don't run into the food stamp guy at the gym every afternoon. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, that's a good call.
Doesn't happen, dude.
How many I wonder what the number is of people who work out regularly and are on food stamps.
This would be an interesting statistic to know. It's man, I don't know. Workout people are just a whole nother class of human beings, man.
'Cause they're motivated.
Yeah, just the amount of hours they sleep, the type of food they eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How many hours they spend in front of their phone or their TV.
They literally move faster,
Yes.
and so they're, like, going to accomplish more in a day. They
Yeah,
sleep
man.
less, they move faster. There's no way you could catch up.
Probably eat less, eat quicker so they could be more mobile, faster,
Yeah,
get on with their
yeah.
way and with their day, right? I mean, I'm a pure time guy. I operate on tight time frames every single day for my job.
Terrible.
Yeah, I know it's rough, but in order to receive and send out product in a timely and efficient manner, I got to be tight with my time. You know what I'm saying?
Time tight.
I am time tight, so
We keep our
therefore,
time tight here on the dude, man.
we do,
Yeah.
man. It's the fastest hour in the universe. Come on.
It's as tight as can be.
But you
Time
know what?
tight.
In the process of me kind of developing my new routine and this adult lifetime that I'm in, this moment in time, I had to really kind of adapt socially and personally. I had to learn to fit in my workout routines around the job so that way I could be there for work and then also at the flip side of the day I'd like to be home and attentive to the garden and cooking dinner and doing all
Yeah.
that stuff. So, it I have to be tight on time. Just in order to be efficient and good at what I do on an everyday basis, I had to figure out how to be thinner, leaner, and meaner. That's how it works, man. But you look at all these videos of
Damn.
these people on the food stamps, man. These are just gargantuan individuals who are just celebrating the fact that they're eating petroleum dyes and all this other chemical
And not
poison
moving.
and
Because that's
not
the other thing, if
moving.
you're on this, that means you're not working.
Dude, good call. And also the pro I love that we just pinpointed the tight timing. I love this. This is great stuff because when we go to the grocery store, if Emma and I are lucky enough to go together, man, we divide and conquer, baby, and we're in and out of that
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
right? Like we want to get everything we need to and then get out. And you look at these videos. These humans are stomping around the grocery store for how long with 3 carts? How
3
long does it
cards.
take you to fill 3 carts of
Well,
groceries,
that's all
man?
you gotta do all day. That's literally the only thing
Right?
you're doing. That's my chore for the day. Trust me, I've been in these homes. They're not fucking spending the day cleaning or taking care of the yard, you know?
Good call. You're right. These aren't people who are, trying to get back home to water the garden, pull the weeds, right? Take care of the homestead.
Oh, no.
Right on, right on. Well, we're living in a new age, a new era.
Ah, it's terrible.
It is terrible, and
And
it's
and they're up in arms about the 20-hour. Dude, it's so funny because 'cause we're all talking about how slow it is at work, and everybody's like, "Yeah, dude, I only did 45 hours, like, last week." Like, "Whoa, man, we're
oh man.
slow. 45, what's going on here?" And then you got people now you go online and they're like, "20 hours a week? You want me to work 20 hours a week?"
Excuse me?
Wait, this is a thing with Gen Z or
No,
beta
no,
or
it's part
alpha
of the,
or
Build Back Better bill or whatever. Trump's Build Back Better.
the
Isn't that
one.
funny that he did the 3 Bs?
Wow, I didn't even connect that,
I just
man.
thought about it, yeah.
Yeah, the big beautiful
The big
bill.
Build Back Better.
That's right.
So funny.
Was Build Back Better the Biden
Yeah,
bill?
remember?
All right, yeah. That's crazy.
'Cause Trump destroyed it, so we were gonna build it back better.
Right. Yeah, now that kind of makes sense. It didn't really resonate with me back in those days. Only
Didn't
be
resonate with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, that was at the time where all the globalists were saying the same lines no matter what country you were living in. I mean,
Right.
you go back and see clips of like you know, the president of France or something, Macron talking about how we got to build back better.
No, it was like Trudeau had one too.
They all did.
Yeah.
And Merkel or who was the German chancellor
Yeah,
lady?
it used to be Merkel, yeah.
I can't remember what, but I think they all said the build back better. That's why it got creepy for me, and it was always a part of
Mm,
the whole globalist agenda. Um,
the globalist. No, but
yeah.
that's part of the, Trump's Build Back Better is, you got for Medicaid or Medicare, one of them. They want the 20-hour minimum work week,
Right. Okay.
and
Yes.
people are furious.
I totally forgot
And
about that.
every single person I've seen complain about it looks like they need to go to work.
At least 20 hours. Like at
It's
least.
going to help you physically and mentally to just get out of the house, go to work, you
My
know?
God, man. I can't imagine only working 20 hours a week. That would be pretty much retirement in my book.
Do you know how many weeks I get 20 hours of overtime?
Every week, I imagine.
No, not every week, but, like,
Yeah, for sure, man. That's
it's definitely a dozen or 2 in a year.
what a crazy world we live in that regard. We lost so much work ethic, man. We come from fathers and fathers and fathers down the line of, men working nonstop overtime in the field, out in the heat or in the snow, just, you know,
Uh,
wasting away. Except for our dad. He became a network programmer and worked for IBM.
Remember what Nono used to always say? "Look at your dad, he works in the air condition."
Yes.
He used to always tell us to stay in school and be like your dad, he works in the air conditioning.
That is the
To
goal,
him,
though.
that was like
Yeah, he's right on the money, though. That is the top, man.
it's so funny to, like, look back at because even Nona, like, Nona went through some famine. I mean, she'll tell you stories like it was just a normal childhood. She's like, "Yeah, no, for Christmas one year, we all got an orange." And you're
That's
like, "What?" She's
Uh?
like she's like, "No, you don't understand, that was the best orange I ever had. It was
Yeah,
amazing."
I
Like,
bet,
"Yeah, I
dude.
bet it was." But that's why, like, the first thing she always says is, like, she'll be like, "Oh, I hope Tony's doing okay. I wonder what he's eating." And
Yes,
to
dude.
her, it's like, if you're eating, you're fucking that's alright. At least you're eating, you know? And for
Man.
No, it was like, "Alright, are you working in the air conditioning? You may if you were eating in an air conditioning in air conditioning at work, you were fucking
Yeah, man. No, I think about it
success."
all the time. I do a lot of lifting, a lot of box moving and all that stuff throughout the day, but there is a huge chunk of my day where I'm in the office and
Uh,
it'll be summertime and it'll be so cold in the office I need to put on a sweatshirt.
I fucking hate you.
And when I do it, when that moment arises, when I like get the chills and I'm there, I'm like, ooh, I have to put on a sweatshirt. I always think about Nono and the men before us,
Uh
and I think about you out there working on the scene downtown in the
Dude,
heat.
I'm not even joking. The other day I had to go into school. It was 96 degrees outside, right? And the guy literally goes, the engineer, he lets me in and he goes, yeah, sorry, we don't have any air conditioning. And then he's like, yeah, but don't worry. You know how they used to build these? You got this huge attic above the auditorium, and that kind of holds all the heat in. And, what are you here for? I was like, "Th- the roof drain. I got to go in the attic."
Go!
And then when I t he he was literally like, "Oh, I'll turn on the" he had, like, this little closet with one of those, like, window units, and he turned it on for me. Cause dude, that attic was so I was coming out just literally dripping sweat.
I bet,
It
dude.
was so hot in that attic.
Wow. That's really what they would do? They would build an extra big roof to capture the heat?
It it's amazing what they used to do for the heat, and the thing is, it actually works, just not once the humidity gets involved. So
Right.
if it's a hot, dry day, it works great. But yeah, they would have these what you would do is really have these, like, air tunnels underground, like, under the building, right? And then you would have these air shafts that go all the way up into this attic, and what that really did was, like, cool off the building.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then that's why you would have, like, these giant windows in the hall they would have really big ceilings on every floor. Really high ceilings, and then you'd have these windows that you would open up. It was all the whole system was built around getting the air at the top out, bringing the air from below,
Yeah.
and
Airflow.
it worked. I mean, now I'm not saying it works like air conditioning, not even close, but, like, not unbearable.
Well, and we're coming from the perception of having AC all our lives. Imagine never having AC, and then you step into one of these cathedral-like buildings where they're flowing the air up through the roof.
Yeah.
Probably feels amazing to step inside in the shade and get out of the sunlight.
Not amazing, equivalent to the shade.
Equivalent to the shade. I'll
That's what
take
you
it.
would get, yeah.
But if you lived in that kind of world and then moved to America like our grandparents did and saw and then got to experience for the first time, like, oh, you don't just get an orange on Christmas, you could buy it every day at the grocery store,
Anytime you
and
want, buy
and like
5 for the week.
is it exactly, dude? Is it 95 degrees out? You could turn this button on and just pump cold air through your whole house. You can make it
Yeah,
65 degrees.
whatever you want.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
that is amazing. And so you must imagine being in those shoes and you step into that world. How appreciative. Where's Zorhan Mamdami? How appreciative would you be of that AC? You would think it's the gold standard of living, honestly, right?
Yeah, it's really funny the people that lived under Mussolini, uh, not big fans of the left and socialism.
Right.
Yeah, no nobody that comes from these socialist countries or remember socialism vote for the left.
Well, most people escape communism and socialism. Escape is the key word.
Escaped here.
Here, dude.
This is
Yes.
the escape.
So the idea to make New York socialist or any other part of America is totally insane because most people came to this country over the last 100+ years to escape socialism, fascism, and communism. Right?
Ah, that's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. But we're cruising along.
Don't even know how he
I don't even know how we
some
got there either. That
tangents.
was fantastic. Welcome to Tangent with Mike and Frank. We're talking heat and traffic.
Speaking of, I mean, the biggest news of these, maybe the year, is Trump going to get this Nobel Peace Prize? I mean,
Yes,
come
dude.
on. What does a white man have to do to get the Nobel? I'm sorry. What does a non-Jewish white man have to do to get a Nobel Peace Prize? I gotta know.
Oh man, I am so shocked by this. I'm so happy this finally occurred. I think
Now,
I
Israeli
got
Prime
something
Minister
here.
Benjamin Netanyahu is in Washington as we speak. He's just met with President Trump and he handed Donald Trump a letter showing him that he has nominated Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. I want to get your thoughts on that in a moment. And leaders were also asked about how close a peace deal is between Israel and Hamas, and this is what Steve Witkoff had to say.
There was a security incident in northern Gaza today, right around the time that the Prime Minister was meeting with Secretary of State, Mr. Steve Witkoff. Does that, and a number of IDF soldiers reportedly have been injured, possibly killed, does that in any way put a wrinkle in ceasefire negotiations with Hamas?
I don't think so. They want it. They want to meet and they want to have that ceasefire. So I don't think so. Steve, could you respond to this? You know about it?
Well, I think it's terribly unfortunate. Terribly unfortunate. We were just talking about it, how tragic it is, but we have an opportunity to finally get a peace deal, Mr. Prime Minister, as we discussed, and I'm hopeful for it very quickly.
Hillary, I'd love to get your thoughts on Donald Trump being.
All right, I missed the stopping point, but
Yeah, it's all right. Rubio, man. All right.
Yeah.
That guy knows how to fall in line, you know?
there are rumors that he's like the alpha dog in the cabinet.
I mean, I think he holds half the cabinet positions right now.
I think you're right, actually, dude.
He's either officially or unofficially half of the cabinet. You know?
Rubio cracks me up because he used to be a stripper.
No, a male stripper?
I think in college, to pay through college, he was a male stripper.
Wow.
And he's apparently a very good dancer, from what I've heard.
How funny is it that it's not even like close to being a shocker? Like we just had dog-faced guys stealing bags out of airports. You know what I mean? A male stripper in college. Like, all right. What are you Mormon?
Male stripper in college, does that mean gay? I don't know. I
think it means
maybe.
gay for pay.
Gay for pay. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, if you get in the male stripping territory, I think you open a door of opportunity to end up at a Diddy freak off. So you got to be careful when you get into that world, you know?
Yeah, I think because I don't know. Like ordering strippers and stuff is a very man trait. You know?
It's a very man thing. Yeah.
So I feel like all the male strippers are just going to gay parties.
That's where my head is at. That you know, the dudes are ordering the male strippers. Maybe the ladies too. I know bachelorette parties, they love getting the male stripper, but
if you're not in like Nashville,
I'm just thinking
how many
like
bachelorette parties are there?
Yeah, Vegas, Nashville, good call. Yeah, and I don't know. The whole like being able to groove in that kind of a way, you're either Spanish or gay. I feel like is the only way. And maybe Marco Rubio, he's got some Latino action going on there, so maybe that's where he gets the groove in from.
Is he Puerto Rican? He's from Florida, right? Might be a little island in him.
Maybe Islander. I thought, is he Cuban or is that Ted Cruz? Ted Cruz is the Cuban, right?
Is he Cuban or Colombian?
Oh man, I can't remember.
I don't know.
Oh man, so either way, it was hard to hear.
It's really funny. You know why we don't know? Because they never fucking talk about it.
Right.
They're Republicans.
Yes.
So we have no idea what nationality
I have no idea what Ted Cruz's gender preferences are or his pronouns. Nothing, man. Nothing.
How funny is that?
Yeah, man. No, you're right on the money. We don't know anything about their identity, politics, if you will. But Cruz, let me see
they
if
don't
I
run on it, man. AOC like runs on being a Latinx. Get
Yes.
up
um,
from the Bronx.
I think this might ruin your view of Ted Cruz now that I'm taking a look here.
He's half
Because
white.
he is he's Canadian.
Oh, yeah, and Canadian.
Right on. He's one
Yeah.
3/4 Irish, 1/4 Italian from his mom. And
God,
he's
going down to
from
quarters.
God, he's from Canada and lived in Delaware. And his father, Raphael, born and raised in Cuba. Wow.
Cuba.
This country's amazing, folks. You get a guy like Ted Cruz, you look at him, you can't tell what he is, and he's literally a mix of everything. That's pretty awesome stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm kind of not a fan of his anymore. Actually, I love
Very
Ted Cruz.
Grandpa Munster-esque.
Very much so. He got in a lot of hot water yesterday or 2 days ago because, Texas had the super freak storm and it flooded out. Ted Cruz on vacation in Greece and continued people took pictures of him taking pictures of the Parthenon and doing stuff with his family like
Poor Ted.
yesterday and not on a flight to get back to save the people in Texas, right?
What's he gonna do?
Nothing. That's why I let him finish his
Drop in from
vacation.
a helicopter? You know what I mean?
Well, nobody said anything about Karen Bass while the city burned. She was on a trip in Africa, hanging out in Ghana or whatever.
well,
I mean,
that's different, man. Got to get in touch with the roots.
the roots, right? Well, maybe Ted Cruz has a little Greek
No.
in him. No,
No.
yeah. I look at Ted Cruz. I see a little Greek going on there.
I don't know. Did you see that thing about the 1980 flood?
Yeah, that's why this whole thing
It's
is super.
crazy.
So apparently, actually, there's some catastrophic flooding in this area of Texas, like every 10 years or so, every 15 years.
Yeah. No, it's
And
funny how often it happens. Not
right,
funny, but like they're just
well,
making a big deal out of it now.
because now we live in a post Asheville world and a post
Mm.
Lahaina world. We live in this place now, this reality where the second a natural disaster or any disaster takes place, everybody's immediately blaming the CIA and the FBI. Immediately.
Right.
And
To be
so
fair though, their track record not the best.
I'm saying after the hurricane jumped Florida and attacked a mountain town in South Carolina, I feel like that might have kind of broken the ice on people, people being frozen out on the conspiracy theory ideas. And so when that hurricane happened, you had a lot of mainstream people discussing geoengineering and all that stuff. And so
Mm.
nut jobs like me got excited and we thought, all right, now we have mainstream conversation happening. It's in the zeitgeist. Now, anytime some abnormal, freakish weather situation unfolds, we're just going to immediately jump on it and blame Bill Gates and, the DOJ and all these other acronym agencies. And that's going to be our number one go-to because we've opened the door for it now. And it seems hilarious to me that if you perused X or any of the social medias, everybody was immediately jumping on board with the geoengineering and all that other crap. But then you do a little reading, just basic reading on the history of the area, and you're like, oh, this place floods like this like every 10 years. And they actually
All the
had
time.
a similar thing like in 1987, like 60 people died or something like that. So
Same thing with the camp.
this,
They
yes.
like lost a bunch of kids. It's like all the same shit.
And I like how in the 80s, they're like, well, that sucks. We'll keep doing camp here, though. Hopefully it never
Rebuild
happens.
it.
Hopefully that never happens again. Yeah, but it is funny to me that people immediately jumped on board with the geoengineering and all that stuff with Texas. And that guy, Augustus Dorico, he allegedly did some cloud seeding on July 2nd, 2 days before.
Not a
And
good look.
not a good look, right? I would say,
Yeah.
that, well, here's the thing. And I'm a huge activist, if you will, for the cloud seeding, the geoengineering, the weather modification, chemtrails, all that stuff. I can't stand it. There's no doubt. But I do think sometimes we got to be a little more clear-headed when we look at these situations that unfolded. And if the dude was cloud seeding the day of, I think we would have some valid questions. But 2 days before, I mean, how long is this stuff lingering in the air?
Right, right.
But the best part about all of this is we're going mainstream with it, Mike, and we got
Is that Rachel
male.
Maddow?
It's the male version. It's Rachel Maddow's twin clone.
Oh, no, that's Mark Cuban.
That's right. Yes, dude. We got male Rachel Maddow here, giving us the lowdown on cloud seeding and this Augustus Dorico fella.
Times you might have seen posts or videos connecting cloud seeding to what is happening in Texas, and then earlier tonight, the CEO
Dude, there's no way.
weather
Didn't you have a story where she had to take like a pay cut? I think they just gave her 2 different shows. So that she could maintain the same salary, just collects 2 different checks. This is Rachel Maddow.
Yeah, I know, dude.
I know a refresh to be fresh when I see one. This is the meatball sub became the boss. You know what I mean? This is just the boss of the meatball sub.
Dude, it is crazy how much this person looks like Rachel Maddow. Like, it's too close.
Same shoulders and everything.
The glasses, the facial, like the jaw structure, the chin, everything. Like, this is Rachel
The
Maddow.
lesbian anger. I mean, how is he capturing?
Right, dude.
Crazy. Company confirmed that planes in Texas did release silver iode into the atmosphere 2 days before the floods, but he also explained why he says scientifically it does not mean that the 2 events are connected. Watch this.
We're talking about like
I love how they're like going into it and everything. They just brushed over it. Okay, can we go back here? Okay, forget about floods or floods, whatever. What's the sodium iode that you're putting in Get this mullet off the screen. Let's go back to the sodium iode. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, man. Definitely not toxic for human consumption, right?
He was just spraying this substance in the air, and let's go to him to explain why it didn't cause the flood. No. Forget about the flood. The flood happens every 10 years. What were you spraying in the air?
That's why I love this so much. They're straight up not denying the act of cloud seeding or geoengineering. They're saying, yeah, it happened, but it was 2 days before this flooding occurred. Come on, man.
And look at this guy. We trust him.
No,
with our air.
This dude. I can't believe it. I can't believe we're allowing this guy to spray poison into the air to create clouds, right? This is
You can't even make a good decision on the hair. And this guy is deciding what you breathe. Look at this guy.
There's a picture of this guy and Bill Clinton. He's buddies with the Clintons, so that should tell you everything you need to know
He'll die
about
soon.
the CEO, Augustus Dorico of Rainmaker Technology.
Sub-centimeter amounts of precipitation, be it in snow or rain from every event, which in aggregate can mean hundreds of acre feet, which is very consequential for farmers and ecosystems, but cannot come close to causing flooding unto itself.
An NBC News climate reporter Chase King joins us
You
now.
look
Chase,
credible.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just take your word for it. The CEO of the company that did it. When has a CEO ever lied to you?
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Whenever has a CEO gone on national television to try and, squash anybody's worries about the nefarious activities that they're up to, right?
This guy should just be like, oh, hey, at least I'm not Skittles. You know? What do you want from me?
At least I'm not spraying petroleum into the air.
Those are the real bad guys.
Yeah.
The conspiracy always starts with like a thread of truth here. Can you explain the science? Like, what is cloud seeding? First off, and how?
On this question here, how many women are on the screen right now?
All of them are women. Just keep that in mind. These are all chicks right now.
I'm confused.
I think they just pump estrogen into the water supply at MSNBC. They're just all just turning into chicks over there. What's the thing that turns the frogs gay? That's what they have going through the air.
You guys are drinking
vents.
too much water.
Yes, dude.
Too much water.
It is funny though that the government poisoned water for decades with all sorts of crap, and even like the Roundup stuff that was going into the water and all that. And now, it's great, but now they kind of admit it, but they don't. And I'm thinking that this is where we're headed. I brought this up in the last episode. We're heading this way with the cloud seeding and the chemtrailing. It was deny, deny, deny. It's a conspiracy theory. And then actually we are doing it. It's industrial waste. We're cleaning this and that. And actually all these chemicals and stuff we're spraying onto you is actually good for you and healthy for you. They did the exact same thing with the fluoride in the water, man. In the Roundup and everything that was pumping into the water that was causing all these issues with people, they denied it. And then the truth came to fruition. And they said, oh, actually, this stuff is good for your teeth. Right.
I know. I love that excuse.
Everything with these guys, it always comes around to, well, it's bad. It's bad. It's not real. It's not real. It's a conspiracy. Actually, it's real, but it's good for you. And it's negligible. You don't even notice that it's happening. And that's basically where this guy is going with it. It's so ridiculous. But we're there now. That's the point. For all the dude Seans in the world that are huge proponents of calling out this cloud seeding and all this crap, we are now at the point where they admit it's happening, but it's negligible. Don't even worry about it. And there's no way it caused catastrophic flooding in Texas and killed 160 people. No way.
How is it being used in Texas?
Yeah, so cloud seeding is really this idea for farmers of like, hey, there's some moisture up there in the clouds. Is there a way that we can get it out of the clouds down here to the surface to help farmers? Because
just for farmers, Mike, they get a little rain out of the clouds, a little drizzle over here, right?
Sounds good.
Water vapor that's in the air needs something to grab onto, which is often like smaller than the tip of a pen. So you're thinking like particles of pollen or dust or even air pollution.
Look at the graphic. They are admitting to cloud seeding and chemtrailing. That's what I love about all of this. It's just, we're doing it. It's happening. Don't worry about it. Right?
Oh, they've been doing it for decades.
Since the 40s, Mike. Come on, man.
And so you see this graphic here. Basically what they do is they fly planes up there to give the water vapor something to grab onto. So it's a combination of silver iodide and salt, actually. And so the water vapor forms around that, eventually gets heavy enough, and then falls to the surface of rain. So when that happens, we're talking really small amounts of rain. In fact, scientists have been debating for decades whether or not this is actually very effective to do. So even when it does work,
you're fucking stupid, dude. I told you they're not cloud seeding. They go up in a plane and spray a small particulate into the air so that the water has something to grab onto and then fall from the sky.
Yeah. So I'll cut it there. It's not. I mean, we've heard it all before on this program. How the cloud seeding goes on.
Have you seen Bill Gates' diagram?
The planes flying.
The perfect lines in the sky. You cloud seeders.
Oh man, we're nut jobs,
So
dude. We're
stupid.
just old guys shaking our fists at the sky, yelling at the clouds, man. No, but here we are now. They can't hide it anymore, and they got this dude with the mullet who has his Rainmaker company now having to defend himself. Like, yeah, we did cloud seed there, but it was like 2 days before this happened, man.
What's that cause more rain? Nah. Oh, well, a little bit. That's why we do. Just a little bit for the farmers.
For the farmers.
Is that what you're talking about? By more rain. Talking about like a little bit for the farmers?
Yeah, this is a good place to be, though, if you want them to stop the weather modification. We now have proof that a company exists. The guy's out there bragging about it on podcasts and on the news. So we have the company, we got the name, we have the proof that they were there right around the time where this catastrophe happened. So now, finally, we have blood on their hands. If you are a part of weather modification, we now have official blood on your hands. You were cloud seeding and modifying the weather in an area that had a catastrophic flood that killed dozens of children and hundreds of people total. So now a fire has been lit, I believe, under the asses of Americans. And I think now we will get a lot of support for Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's going to propose the bill in Congress to end all this stuff going on. So this is a good place to be. Super tragic what happened in Texas, but at least from a silver lining perspective, We now have open conversation going on. They're no longer denying chemtrailing and cloud seeding. They're admitting to it and telling you nothing to be worried about. All right. It's all good. It's all gravy. Water under the bridge.
Yeah, I think you really blame him for it, though, because everything's saying that the silver iodide doesn't last long in the air. It just falls.
Personally, I'm not blaming this guy for it, but we're
2
all
days is too long.
Our society is pure goldfish, and the way things move on social media, people don't add and subtract days or time. So you see
Right.
Dingleberry in mullet spraying chemtrails and then flood. That's all we need to know. We're ending the chemtrails. I think that's kind of
Who's getting married?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how long it lasts.
That's right, man.
Milk it while you can, you know?
Well, Mike, I can't believe I'm saying it. There's no doubt about it. This is the fastest hour in the universe. We're
Keeping
running
that time
on
tight
time today, people. Mike's got a job to get to later this evening. It's unbelievable, but it's true. DJ Rodfather kicking out the jams for us. We have plenty more to get to on the flip side
I think
here.
you're gonna like this one.
Yes!
It's a newbie.
Is this Kanye? All right, no Kanye. Maybe
Close.
Kanye. It's all right.
Kanye adjacent.
All right, nice, man. We'll be back for the second half after this jam. Thanks for hanging out, folks, and thanks for all the awesome comments. We'll see you in a little bit. Wow.
Oh, we're going rap.
I am impressed, sir. Very nice.
I said what I said. Thinking we gon' fold, boy, you must be off your meds. And it's really about the kingdom, this ain't about no bread. They say I don't trample on the blood, Messiah shit. I said what I said. Thinking we gon' fold, boy, you must be off your meds. Boy, it's really about the kingdom, this ain't about no bread. Make sure I don't trample on the blood, Messiah shit. Nowadays I can't watch TV without gay folk on my screen. Female rappers pushing sex cause they don't know how to cook and clean. All these men ain't have no father, so they high and drinking lean. And you need to leave your church if they accepting drag queens. Better leave your church if they approving of abortion. America, the new Sodom and Gomorrah, God gon' torture. God told you in them scriptures, but you keep ignoring. Repent, cause when you hit them horns, that's your final warning. And Christ ain't tolerate no sin, why y'all telling lies? 1 John 3 say, everybody ain't a child of God. Pedophilia all up in your church, tell me what's the odds? Y'all collabing with worldly artists, thinking you can pay both sides. I said what I said, thinking we gon' fold, boy, you must be off your meds. And it's really about the kingdom, this ain't about no bread. Make sure I don't trample on the blood, Messiah shit. I said what I said, thinking we gon' fold, boy, you must be off your meds. Boy, it's really about the kingdom, this ain't about no bread. Make sure I don't trample on the blood, Messiah shit.
I ain't your primo, bell bottoms, crop tops, man, all your boys are emo. We don't get invited, y'all depressed, yeah, we know. We gon' rip that gay flag up on that big stage if we go. Y'all just holy smoke 'em with the fire, jalapeno. Hey, Tyson, drop a name, it's a bunch of y'all. I be here for days, it ain't one, it's a bunch of them. Look, and I don't even think they serve the right God. It's Christian Illuminati when you popping out with my God. What can I say? You got a woman for a pastor. Prophesying lies while you call that with your master, that your mama. Now Jesse got y'all in a spell, and if you don't stand for truth, then all y'all going straight to hell. I said it.
I said what I said, thinking we gon' fold, boy, you must be off your meds. And it's really about the kingdom, this ain't about no bread. Make sure I don't trample on the blood, Messiah shed. I said what I said, thinking we gon' fold, boy, you must be off your meds. Boy, it's really about the kingdom, this ain't about no bread. Make sure I don't trample on the blood, Messiah shed.
Oh yeah, man.
Was that echoing, man? Sorry, man. That was my bad.
No, I thought it sounded good on my side, actually. Yeah.
Shit, all right. Christian rock. Christian rap.
That was Christian rap?
Yeah, didn't you hear it?
I mean, sort of,
The whole
yeah.
song's about like the gay agenda being shoved down your throat.
Who's this rapper? I think I saw this guy trending the other day.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Bryson Gray.
Bryson Gray. All right. Very white guy, black guy.
It's a brother.
Bryson. Okay, very nice.
Uh-uh.
Bryson feels like a rich white kid name, doesn't it?
Never met a Bryson. I
All
wouldn't even
right,
know where
I'll
I
leave it
wouldn't even
there.
know which way to go with it. I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So actually, is this guy like a Christian hip hopper? Is that his thing?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I just
All
heard
right.
that song. I was like, all right. Finally, a rapper that's against the gay movement. Because I'm finding out all the rappers are gay now.
That's right.
So it's just like, you know. It's like,
This is the one rapper that wasn't invited to the Diddy Freak Off, is what I'm
right.
seeing
It's
here.
him and
Yeah.
Terrence Howard in the studio.
Right, yes.
Right.
That's right, man. I forgot
Yeah.
about Terrence. Yeah. Man, he was everywhere for a minute. And now no more Terrence, I feel like.
Nah.
You
No
got
matter what, man, you gotta suck that dick.
you have to play the man card, right? That's how it
Gotta play it.
always.
Otherwise, people don't like you. Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, look at Adam Carolla, man. That guy just that's your alternative.
Adam Carolla to me is the guy that said no thanks to the Lolita Express flight.
Yeah, and he's had to just fucking, hustle it out ever since.
He's been doing Loveline, and I actually recently he was talking about how he didn't actually start comedy till like 15 years ago.
Yeah, doing like actual like stand up.
Stand up, yeah, which I found to be
Yeah.
crazy interesting. His stand up is fantastic. I saw him about a year ago here in Denver. Is one of the funniest things I've ever been to. But um, it, he's on to something. With wait, what were we on? The hip hop guy. I lost my train of thought there.
Yeah,
I got.
he was rapping about the gay agenda.
Oh yeah, the Epstein. Because he stumbled into fame through, he didn't start being a comic or an actor or anything. He stumbled onto fame and just happened to meet Jimmy Kimmel when they were doing radio. And then of
Yeah.
course Jimmy Kimmel, whose name floats all the time with the Lolita Express, clearly went on to some glorious levels of fame, hosting the Tonight Show that he's got, and then hosting all those Emmy Award shows. And
Yeah.
he's super famous. Look at Adam Carolla. He's got that lowly podcast that he's doing, basically. That's about it.
And then
Dude.
dude, I was gonna go to a show here in at Zany's, but it starts at like 10 o'clock and it's on a Wednesday.
Yeah, that's how comedians do it, man. I know. It's rough.
Bro, dude, I gotta wake up at 4.
I know.
Are you kidding me?
Isn't it funny how waking up at 4 just changes every element of your life?
It instantly makes you old.
It does.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Yeah, because my night goes past 8 o'clock. I'm fucked. Everything's just like totally.
It's just, you're counting the hours you're missing. Like,
I
fuck,
know.
get to better in an hour, man. Maybe I'll get 7 hours.
7, they say, that's what I was reading today, it's the healthiest level or amount of sleep that you could get as an adult. The myth of 8 hours isn't actually true. It was kind of started back in the industrial era when they wanted to convince people that you should be working your 8-hour shift, and they said, "Oh, the healthy man operates 8, 8, and 8. He does the 8 hours of work, 8 hours of leisure, 8 hours of sleep."
Wow.
Probably around the same time they convinced everyone to eat 3 meals a day with tons of bread and sugar.
Tons of bread. Yeah.
Around the same time, I imagine.
No, Frank, that's the base of the pyramid. You eat the most of it,
Right, dude.
It's the base. The grains.
Oh,
Cereal.
man. So, yeah, Adam Carolla didn't fly the Lolita Express. And it turns out, when it comes to the Lolita Express, nobody flew on it.
No,
not
nobody did.
Not one person, dude.
No! Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, guilty of trafficking children to nobody.
To nobody, man. She's currently still behind bars right now, allegedly. I personally believe Ghislaine or Ghislaine, however you say it. I don't think she ever. I don't know. I don't think she actually went to prison. I assume she's vacationing on some island with Jeffrey Epstein somewhere out there. Would be my guess.
Maybe.
Tucker Carlson has a new interview out, and they dissect the Epstein information. And Tucker apologizes for saying nasty things about Epstein and how he's been proven wrong. And apparently, none of that was ever true.
None of it, huh?
So I'm gonna use this opportunity to tell everybody Tucker Carlson works for the CIA. I want everybody to be clear on this. He's part of the deep state. All right.
So all of this just really makes me want to know, what does the CIA have on Tucker Carlson, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino?
Yes.
Are you guys on these tapes?
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. What tapes of you do they have? What did they tell you that they know of? And or is this like a Ross Perot thing where when worst comes to worst, we just threaten to kill your family?
Could be. I can't imagine what it is.
Because legendarily, the reason Ross Perot ducked out of the 1994 or whatever election is because his family's lives were threatened by the deep state.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
Believable.
very believable. Lot to unpack. I think we should just dive into it since we're there. We got Jeffrey Epstein, the man, the myth, and the legend. And let's see here. I'm gonna squeeze us in there with Jeff, old Jeff boy. And all right, man. A lot of new fun info coming out.
New details this morning in the case of Jeffrey Epstein, with the Justice Department and FBI releasing video of the hallway outside his jail cell on the night he took his own life in 2019, showing no one went in. The DOJ also released a 2-page, undated, unsigned memo on Monday.
It's crazy because the claim originally was the cameras weren't working.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Am I correct about that, right? Like, we've all heard that they said the cameras weren't working. It's the whole joke. The cameras broke and stopped working, and the guards fell asleep on each other, and nobody knows what happened. Right? He killed himself.
Did you see the doctored video where it's Hillary Clinton walking in?
So
funny.
It is, actually. And so we just watched the alleged video of them, and of course I saved it, Mike. I got it for you. Why would I not save it, dude? So allegedly
in the blue suit. That's the best part.
Allegedly, according to people who've gone over the tapes, there is a full minute missing at the end of the footage they released to the public. And some eagle-eyed sleuths out there basically concluded that in total, there is about 6 full minutes missing from this tape. And someone on the internet found the missing minute, and allegedly this is what we got out of it. Hillary Clinton going right into there. Yeah. There she goes.
Jeff.
And I think I see in her hand there, it's got to be the rope for the hanging, and then I imagine she has a gun in her pocket with 2 bullets, is going to be my guess.
right.
For how that usually goes. Yeah.
Hillary.
Oh, man. I don't think it was Hillary, but I think this guy's still alive.
Confirming the financier and convicted sex offender died by suicide in federal prison while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges. The DOJ says it found no credible evidence that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals, concluding Epstein did not maintain a client list that he used to traffic underage girls. It's a striking reversal of a past statement by the head of the Justice Department, Attorney General Pam Bondi. In February, Bondi was asked by Fox News about a possible client list.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
The White House press secretary on Monday asked about those comments.
She was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
Bondi has faced fierce criticism from some Trump supporters after she promoted the February release of a series of Epstein documents that were already publicly available, with some far-right figures calling for Bondi's resignation. Former Trump ally, billionaire Elon Musk, mocking Bondi as a clown on X Monday, weeks after he deleted a post accusing the president of being in the Epstein files.
All right, so
Yeah.
there is no list. There never was a list. Let's be honest
Or
about
it's
it.
gone if there was.
Yeah, so I've heard a lot of stuff now on the back end of this. A lot of people out there are claiming that in the, what is it, 3 months from the election to inauguration, that they just cleaned house and incinerated all the evidence that they have. Um, there's another theory out there that Alex Jones, I think, was putting out there. Alex Jones had a mental breakdown today and like filmed himself crying in his car alone when he found out Trump basically said in the press conference this afternoon, "Why is everyone so worked up about Jeff Epstein? Let's move on. We don't care about Jeff Epstein." Right? So everybody's very upset about this. But he was putting out the idea, and I've heard this from other people as well, that they have all the evidence. They got the video footage. They have compiled a list of perpetrators that are seen on the footage, people who have flown on the Lolita Express and all that. Trump has it, and he's now using it as blackmail against the deep state,
Wow.
which I find to be impressive. Because here's the thing with,
Wah,
oh,
wah,
all right,
wah.
yeah, I had a feeling. You know, Trump he's the master of the deal. He's the art of the deal, right? So if you're holding these chips, maybe this is something you could use to push your agenda further if you have roadblocks in the way. You know, maybe there's some people.
Yeah, but it doesn't work if you're on the list.
Well, here's another thing that I keep
Yeah.
seeing everywhere, which is if Trump were on the Jeffrey Epstein list, or if there was even like a clip or a photograph of any evidence of this guy partaking in the activities at, St. James Island, we would have seen it in the last election cycle.
No, because Joe Biden's on the list.
Yeah, but the Biden administration, all the corrupt people that were running the DOJ and the FBI and the CIA, they could have just released the Trump info, working in cahoots with Biden. Oh, yeah,
Nah,
here
you can't.
Trump was at
Everybody's
Epstein
on
Island.
the list. You'd get too many people on the list.
I'm saying maybe they wouldn't have done a list. They would have just said, we have proof Trump was good friends with Epstein and went to the island. Here's some pictures.
Yeah, but there's a reason nobody touches it.
Yes, there is a reason. And what is that reason?
You know what I mean? It's was that assured destruction, mutual destruction?
Right. Yeah.
It's the reason we don't use nukes. We had them.
Good call. The reason the names don't ever get released is because everybody is on the list.
It's a nuke. You blow up the whole world.
Wow.
You know?
All right.
And I mean, it's got to be something that just goes, international.
It must be international. It probably reaches the papacy, I bet, on some level. I'm sure one of the popes was getting his diddly on down at Epstein Island.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you got Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates. I mean, everybody's been to this island from just the flight logs that we know.
Two things. I don't care what Ben Shapiro says. Two things are true. He was convicted of trafficking underage girls.
Yes.
And he threw outrageous parties with the top of the top of government, Hollywood, intelligence agents, everything, science community.
And the one victim who actually got a court case going and revealed to the world that Prince Andrew, part of the royal monarchy, was her perpetrator and the guy that was raping her and all that stuff. She got hit by a bus and then died of suicide like 5 days later. So, I mean,
after sex, she would never kill herself.
Yes, the only true, like, verified victim of the Epstein Island, and she was murderized multiple times in multiple ways, basically.
Yeah, that's why nobody talks.
Hit by the bus and then
that's crazy.
Commit suicide, man. Wow, with two
what
bullet
are the
wounds.
odds? Yeah, two
bullet wounds to the head, man. It's crazy. So yeah, you're on board with it ain't ever coming out because all of these people are on the list, including Trump. and just
Not even, I don't believe there's really a list. I just think everybody's guilty of going there. Everybody's guilty of having fun. Can't touch it.
Yeah, I saw an idea out there that kind of related this to almost like a verified guarantee. This is the deep state sending a message to the people who participated in the Epstein situation that even in our most dire moment where the information could potentially be revealed, we still have you protected. The United States
Yeah.
government still protects you. Our deep state is still operating, even with MAGA going on. In spite of all these things that they're doing, we can still hold that information and block it from the public. That's how big and powerful we are.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Biden administration did burn everything.
I think it all got burnt. Yes.
Just in case. But I think that, I don't think Trump's innocent at all.
I don't either. He's, named in a lot of interviews, especially recently. There's some people that have gone out there saying they claim to have seen a photograph of Trump with some questionably aged young ladies from back in the 80s and 90s, and many different people talking about how Epstein openly discussed his great friendship with Trump and how they were very close friends actually for a long time. And Lipnick, Henry Lip, is it Lipnick? Was it Lupnick? Am I saying this guy's right? What's this guy? Harry Lupnick? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Howard Lutnick. That's the guy. That's who I was looking for. Howard Lutnick is on Trump's cabinet, if I'm not mistaken. He's a American billionaire businessman. And he apparently, from what I understand, purchased the house next door to Epstein's Manhattan mansion that he had. And so Lutnick, neighbors and friends with Epstein at a time when Trump was also friends with Epstein. And this Lupnick guy is now in Trump's cabinet, right? So there is a deep connection there on some level. People could argue. I think right now he is the
When you're that rich, it's not a lot of communities you're moving into.
good call. So
You know what I mean?
because you can't really branch out too far, you only got your 1%er neighborhoods that you can move into. You might end up being neighbors with Jeffrey Epstein.
One of your homes might
One
end
of
up being,
that's
you know
right.
what I mean? Might end up being next to somebody, you know.
Well, the point being is a lot of people are claiming because of this Lutnick character, there's a very close connection with Trump and Epstein, and people are playing into that.
We're thinking about neighbor like your neighbor. Like, you know you see your neighbor. You know your neighbor's routines, right?
Yeah,
These
man.
are $1 million homes, bro.
Good call.
You see a guy walking down, you don't even know if he's one of the gardeners. Or one of the, you know what I mean? You don't know. You don't even know what your neighbor looks like, man.
Yeah. All
You
right.
got 9 homes. You know how many neighbors that is? I'm not gonna know all of them.
Yeah, and you probably have multiple neighbors at each residence from each wing of your compound.
Right, yeah. Oh, good call. And they
Yeah,
all
man.
have these fucking giant bush fences.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
you
the
don't
hedges.
even
Yeah.
The best part about being rich is you don't see anybody. You get to
Wow.
just,
Yes, good call.
be cut off from the world.
Sounds nice. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds great.
And in your free time, you can go have a beer with old Jeff Epstein next door, right? Throw a few burgers on the grill, get a massage from an underage gal, right?
But see, that's the thing is you meet Jeff Epstein at a port in Florida when you dock your yacht, and then that's where you find out, oh, we both have a home in the
Right.
Hamptons.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. All right, man. So
Small group.
I threw out a lot of options out there. We got blackmailing the deep state. Trump's actually on the list. Trump, there is no list. What do we got here? What are we getting with the Epstein thing?
It might have not even been Biden. It might have been before Biden. I think all the evidence is gone, whatever there was, and nobody talks about it because it's just everybody's involved.
All right. I love it, man. I'm
Yeah.
actually surprisingly I'm with you on this one. I think the thing with Epstein is everybody hung out with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
And so on some level, everybody feels like they're corrupted. You know, maybe some of these people didn't even do anything or even go to the island, but there's proof that they hung out with the guy, or there's some pictures with him and Ghislaine and they're hanging out at a poolside. So like no matter what, if
It's
you're even
suspect.
yeah, you're suspect. And
Yeah.
the fact that it's Jeffrey Epstein and everybody believes he was running the world's greatest sex trafficking ring in the modern history of America. Well, you know, if I see a picture of you with Jeff Epstein, I'm going to assume you were getting down at that island and doing the nasty deed,
And then
right?
let me ask you something. Why did Bill Gates' wife divorce him? Because nothing
Yes.
happened on the island?
Yes, man.
Is that what you're telling me?
And what other place in this world did Bill Clinton visit 17 times? I have to know. Like, where else in this world was Bill Clinton like, I'm going to go there 17 times?
He really liked that place.
He loved Little St. James Island, man.
Loved that place.
Yeah. And like I've brought up before, Epstein had his ranch in New Mexico, and he also had his home in near Mar-a-Lago. And so this guy, man, I mean, we talk about the flight logs on Lolita Express to Little St. James Island and all that, but what about his other locations? We have no idea who
Yeah.
was going to those other places, man, or what was happening there. A lot of people out there believe that the New Mexico ranch was for cloning. And there are some previous victims of Epstein who claim he was involved in a lot of weird genetic testing and cloning and all this stuff at that New Mexico ranch.
It's really hard to believe we're not cloning humans.
Seriously.
Somebody's
Yes.
doing it.
The Chinese, for sure.
For sure. Oh, they're like altering DNA.
Yes, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I will never believe, ever, no matter the proof, that Yao Ming was a natural made human being. Never will believe that. There's no way two little Chinese people produced Yao Ming. It's impossible.
Or that we cloned a sheep perfectly and then we were like, you know what? Can't play God. This is too powerful for man. We're gonna put this technology aside. We'll do it for your dog and your cat, but no humans.
We're gonna put it next to the direct energy weapons that we don't have anymore, but that we do.
Let's move that heart attack gun out of the way. Perfect.
Yeah, man. No, I love the idea that we cloned a sheep perfectly, and we just decided, well, our work here is done. We did what
That's
we
it.
came to prove.
Now nobody talk about it ever again. You won't see any articles ever again about it. Yeah, just done.
At this point, I have to imagine they're cloning historical figures and crap like that. Like they're probably cloning Gilgamesh and Genghis Khan and
No, you think so? That's too far back. You think we got their DNA?
I don't know. Well, doesn't everybody have some Genghis Khan DNA in them? Isn't that how that works with the guy?
No, but you need like a full.
The full
It would be
thing.
funny if they like yeah, for the last 20 years they've been cloning George Washington over and over again, but each one is just as racist as the one before.
They all wake up asking for their slaves, every single one.
Mostly the female. That's the worst part. One young female.
Yeah, man. I've always believed they would get down with the cloning of historical figures if they could. You would just need some element. Well, do you need skin, or like cell, or
DNA?
You could just take the bone marrow, right? And
Well, any DNA. Yeah.
Any
I think you
DNA.
can just get it off your spit.
Yeah, but I'm talking like old. We got some old people we want to bring back.
Well, yeah, because those guys are doing it, like the dire wolf.
That's what I'm saying. Dire Wolf
Yeah.
and Jurassic Park. They
I can't believe they made another Jurassic Park.
could you,
What is going on?
I thought the last one bombed, and they were like, "Okay, we're done with the franchise. Nobody wants to see this
So
anymore."
then they did a refresh. We'll get rid of Chris Pratt. The only thing that worked in the,
The
new
only
ones.
good part.
The only good.
Well,
you know what the problem with this reboot of Jurassic Park was? the best actor's a Christian. Let's get rid of him.
Yes, that's
Put a couple gays in there. It'll turn this franchise around.
We'll put in Scarlett Johansson. Everybody likes Scarlett, right?
But does nobody remember the writer's strike?
Right.
Like, didn't we refuse to bring in AI and you guys got all this money and everything, and then the best you come up with is a refresh of Jurassic Park
Wow, great
and
call, dude.
Superman? I mean, you go look at the movies that are it's 28 years later. It's Superman. It's Jurassic. Is this 2005? Like, what are we doing? What's going on?
Great call. They had the writer's strike. They've come up with nothing interesting or new in that time. And Superman's coming out, which is so it's funny. Jurassic Park, this iteration's a reboot of the reboot, if I'm getting my reboots correct, right?
Yeah, it like takes place after Jurassic World. Yeah.
So
Like,
yeah,
can't just forget about it.
you got the reboot of the reboot. And then Superman's the reboot of the reboot of the reboot of the reboot. They've been rebooting Superman every 10 years or so. And it's coming out this week. I was kind of excited. I was going to go see it. And then apparently the brothers, the Gunn brothers who are behind the Superman are going around saying that Superman is actually an immigrant. And this is James Gunn here, or Sean Gunn.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
that's
fuck
right,
yourself.
dude.
Okay.
So,
You know what, Gun Brothers?
yeah, that's
I'll
right.
tell you what. The minute a Venezuelan comes in who could fly and travel the speed of light, we'll give him a fucking pass. All right. we'll give that one a pass. How about that, buddy?
They're just trying to make up for the bad publicity with Superman's new knuckle tattoos that they gave him. He's got the, you know,
Marijuana
the
leaf.
marijuana leaf, the skull, the Christmas tree.
Just so you know, he's a good guy.
Yeah, man. They're saying that the MAGA people have a huge issue with what they're saying, and that they don't care about the backlash. And they're saying we love our immigrants, we support immigrants, and Superman is the ultimate story of the ultimate immigrant and the story
He's
of
not
America.
an illegal alien. He is an alien.
An alien. That's what.
He's a fucking alien.
Yeah. So according to James Gunn, the director of Superman,
Immigrant is like you belong somewhere on this earth, and then you went somewhere you shouldn't be. Right? This guy doesn't belong anywhere on earth.
Right. So technically, he is an illegal alien.
Right.
He's illegally here, and he's an alien from another planet, man. He's an illegal alien.
I don't think it's illegal for aliens to land on Earth.
Really? It should be. I think this is something that should be part of the MAGA platform. Someone's got to get in contact with Trump. Yeah. Trump was briefed. I told you in the last episode, he was briefed about the Nordic Whites and all the other aliens here. So
real question is, do those aliens fear alligators?
Good call, dude. Yes.
If not, we're gonna have to change our plans.
How does Superman fare against Tom Homan? That's the question we should all be asking here. Dude, according to James Gunn, he claims Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it is mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something we have lost.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
On.
Dude, I wanted to like your movie. I was ready to go see this thing because all I was thinking is, man, this guy split from the MCU. He started this new DCU. He's probably going to be anti-woke. Maybe we're going to stop getting black lesbians in every character. Like, maybe finally we can get some good entertainment out there. No, it's over. We're back in Wokeville. It's unreal, man.
That's why the movie's going to bomb.
It will probably bomb. Yeah,
if you're talking about immigration in your Superman movie, it's going to bomb.
Good call, dude. Yeah, but the politics shouldn't even be playing into it. There should be no MAGA anything in relation to Superman. Can't we just get a Superman movie with nothing to do with woke culture, identity politics, MAGA, Joe Biden? Like, you're supposed to create a world in a fictitious universe.
It's
What's going on
fake.
here? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
There is no Trump.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Good times. Good times. Um,
That would suck though if that started happening. Then we got to build a dome. You can't just do a wall.
I think that's why Trump's building the Golden Dome.
The Golden Dome.
Yeah. We got to
Ah.
stop the illegal aliens from entering our atmosphere. I think we already got the illegal aliens, I'll be honest.
They're not illegal though, I'm telling you.
All right. Maybe we're the illegal aliens.
I don't think it's on the books anywhere that it's illegal for an alien to like. There is no designated. My point is, there's no designated place for Superman to be.
Right.
The problem is, if you're a Venezuelan citizen, you need to get a visa or something to get over here. Right, but the fact that you didn't get the paperwork and you came over, that now you're illegal.
Right.
You know.
Yeah,
but we don't even have the process for.
But Clark Kent walking around, no birth certificate, no social security number. I doubt this guy's paying taxes. Actually, I mean, honestly.
Okay. So that in this case, this is where I would. This is the one scenario where it would be okay and proper to use the term undocumented.
Right.
Would be an undocumented alien. See, now we're starting to understand their lingo.
All right. Yes. Oh
Right.
man.
So the Venezuelan illegal alien, Superman, undocumented alien.
All right. It's all starting to make sense to me now.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. I'll take it back. I'm down with Superman then hanging out. It is interesting
it's gonna be a
though.
terrible movie.
No, it's not going to be good. Nah, you can already tell they're bringing up the immigration stuff.
Just like the Jurassic Park reboot. Like I just saw one preview and it was like the lead is the strong chick who's like saving the men.
Yes.
Next.
Yeah. I know.
That's gonna be dumb. It's not just women either. If you had like a 5'7" bald guy out there who's 30 pounds overweight,
right?
And he
Yes.
starts kicking ass and saving everybody from a T-Rex, I'd be like, "Come on, get out! This is ridiculous."
No, but still, like, it's Scarlett Johansson. I know you guys were able to pull off some movie magic with her as the Scarlet Witch or whatever it was. Her character, where she's like an assassin from Russia and has all these, has superhuman strength or whatever it is. Sure, I'll suspend my, imagination. I'll believe this for you, but you now take that chick who's like 5'4", a petite woman, and she's in the jungle, like battling dudes and dinosaurs. Like she's the first person to get eaten here. Come on, man. There's no way. Like, are you kidding me?
Have you seen chicks run through the woods?
That's what I'm saying. So unbelievable, man. They're really into it though, because I didn't see it, but it came out about a month ago. It was a new John Wick movie, but it was starring
Like
one
number
of
5.
No, it was a chick John Wick.
No way.
Yes, dude. You didn't see it? See,
the
ballerina, I believe it was called.
Shut the fuck! Like she's in that organization.
Yes.
The assassin, whatever.
Ballerina, 2025 action thriller. Yeah, man. It is. It takes place between the events of John Wick Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. That you lost me. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Dude. I am shocked to announce though, 76% on the tomato meter with the critics, and 92% with the audience.
Get the fuck out of here.
5,000 plus reviews. So popular movie. People loved it. For me personally, I don't know. I have a hard time believing a chick can go around like mass murdering people with no problem. Keanu Reeves, it makes sense. I don't know why.
But even Keanu Reeves, it was like ridiculous at the end. Like this guy just knocked out like 3,000 criminals in one city.
Just the first. I can't believe they made 4 John Wicks. By the way, I saw 2 of them, maybe 2 of them. But
what was
even
the kill count?
The first one was outrageous, but that was the point. That was the joy of it, right? Him going around just outrageously killing lots of people in very inventive and creative ways. I could see Keanu doing it. we have the Matrix in our mind.
That's the only reason it worked is because he was Neo.
Yeah, well, with the ballerina, I don't know who was in it, but you should have gotten like Charlize Theron or somebody who's
That's the problem. The only way it really worked, you got to get like a Leslie Jones in there.
yes.
Then I believe it. I mean, that's
Good
of
call.
100 men against a Leslie Jones. Who's winning?
Yes, man. Too bad China's not around anymore, right?
China, yeah, that's another one. She was a beast.
They tried to make China an action star. I remember she had a movie.
act.
Yeah, it's the acting part, but yeah,
she
you got
moved too much like Arnold.
That's right, dude. Yeah. It's hard to get down with these chick action stars. That's all I'm saying. And sure, maybe it's a sexist perspective, but it's just I'm not going into these Arnold Schwarzenegger movies looking for reality or something that's super believable, but it's within the realm of I believe Arnold could do that. Like for some reason, like
He looks like he can do it.
that's like The Rock. Okay, I'll get my favorite
The Rock,
movie,
yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw. The Rock holding on to a line of cars with one arm, and then he's got a chain wrapped around a helicopter, and he's pulling the helicopter towards the cars. Totally believable. I don't know why, but it's The Rock, man. And yeah, I love The Rock.
No, I would be pulled in half.
Yes.
But look at his muscles.
That's
You
what I'm
know I mean?
saying.
He's a beast.
He's the Rock, man. So that you believe it with The Rock. You get this chick or, J-Lo or whoever, or Scarlett Johansson, you get out there. Long name Johansson. How come she's not ScarJo? Do they call her ScarJo? They must call her ScarJo.
ScarJo? I like that.
I bet you they
ScarJo.
call her. I bet you it's already out there.
Oh, her close friends.
Yeah, that's right. But you get her out there. I mean, I'm not believing anything with Scarlett Johansson with the dinosaurs running around and a crew of fully capable grown men, and she's the most badass out of all of them.
Yeah, that's the most. Yeah, come on.
I'm sorry, it's a hard thing to get down with, and we're on our 6th Jurassic Park at this point, or whatever it is.
No, this is gonna be 7.
At this juncture, the dinosaurs should have completely taken over the entire world.
Good call. Yeah, the pterodactyls, man.
We wouldn't stand a chance, bro.
There's no way.
Yeah, man, come on. Although maybe that's why they do the chemtrails, to fog out all the pterodactyls and make sure
So
they
they don't see us.
That's right, dude.
Right. I don't even want to ever see one of those like harpy eagle things. You see those?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, dude, they're like 3 feet tall.
What?
Dude, they're huge. Their wingspan's like 7 feet.
Is it actually harpy? Oh
think
yeah,
that's the
well
name of it.
I basically did spell it right. Oh, they're huge.
Enormous.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
They're like a 12-year-old boy. No, it's like
No,
a
I think you're
9-year-old boy.
I think you're right. Yeah, they're
It
they
looks
look
like a man.
They look like
Isn't that
people,
crazy?
dude. What the Oh, they're huge, man.
Like imagine seeing that in the forest, just staring at you.
The face is freaky, dude. I wouldn't be able to handle that with the face. Wow. Birds are scary, man.
Oh,
Here's
so
a guy
scary.
next to him. Oh, that is a beast enormous right there.
Look how big those
Wow.
feet are, the claws.
Holy cow, that could grab you and lift you off, man.
Yeah, I forgot what they said. It's like a 6 or 7 foot wingspan.
Very impressive. Yeah, man. Harpy eagles. I was not familiar with these guys. But good thing we chemtrail. They can't see us anymore.
Good thing we killed everything that could kill us. You know?
But and I felt like you would have seen this a while ago. Maybe you didn't, and it's possible I lost it too. But we're in the era of remakes and reboots and everything. They are apparently getting ready to remake or reboot Indiana Jones.
No.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, it's happening. They
With
are
Harrison Ford?
No. So I guess I didn't watch the last one. Did you see the Destiny of Dial or something? It was. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, I
But-
forgot they made another one. No, last one I saw was the skull.
Yeah, this last one that nobody saw because it bombed in the box office and nobody saw it. They cut ties with Harrison Ford. He's out, and they are now planning a full-on reboot of the franchise, and they'll be bringing back someone young, and I imagine black and lesbian would be my
They
first
should do
guess.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, yeah, man.
Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, he was his son, right? In the Crystal Skull.
Yes, but they kinda cut him out because he said a lot of bad things about Spielberg and everybody else, and I'm a huge fan of Shia LaBeouf. He went through this incredible like, public trajectory of, like, he like, just boomed into stardom with the Holes and being on Disney Channel,
Yeah.
and then he went totally insane, and everybody
Totally
hated
insane.
him for a long time, and he did a lot of weird avant-garde art projects. I remember he did the thing where he was, like, alone in a room with a bag on his head and just people did stuff to him, and that was, like
No.
yeah. People, like, abused him and stuff. It was really
Damn.
freaky.
Nickelodeon fucks you up, man.
Oh, it totally
Wasn't
does,
Holes a
man.
Nickelodeon movie? Yeah.
It was either that or Disney Channel.
I think it was Nickelodeon.
It might have been, yeah. Anything with the
They
kids,
fucked
they
you
all end up
up.
yeah, they met they
I got
get so
he
messed up.
was on Bobby Lee's podcast not too long ago.
Alright.
What a he was such a funny guy.
Yeah, man. He's super interesting, very funny,
Super interesting, really entertaining to listen to.
He got a bad rap there, I think, for a minute because he went insane. Because he was a child actor, and all the child actors go insane for a little bit. They come back around. Drew Barrymore did the same thing back in the day.
Drew Barrymore. Man,
You know?
Fury. What a great movie. I was trying to think of it. With
Oh,
the tank.
yeah. That was pretty good. Yeah,
that
that's
was a
right.
great movie.
The Tank movie, yeah. Brad Pitt? Is that
Brad
Brad Pitt?
Pitt, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna try and see the new F1 movie with Brad Pitt. Probably won't make it out there. If it's longer than 90 minutes, I'm not gonna do it. But
I can't believe they did the 28 years later. At what point do the zombies just die from starvation? Like, there's no more humans.
I know. Well, they're claiming this movie's going to be great because they're going to show what the zombies look like after they've become more decrepit over 28 years. Yeah.
All right.
Not the biggest fan myself. I will maybe catch it on the cable box when it gets to cable because I still watch cable, Mike.
Can you imagine you like freeze your brain like Walt Disney? And then in 100 years you wake up and the movie is 280 years later. You're like, what? They're still just doing refreshes? Jurassic Park 23. You're like, Scream 19.
Dude, when does this end though? Great call. Do we just go on for we must be at the end of history or the end of culture. Something's going to decimate us or something because we can't just keep going on reboots and sequels for infinity. I mean,
I know we like when we grew up, when we were kids, there were a lot of movies where like it was a reboot of the original that our parents saw.
Yes.
And but that was the original. This was one reboot of the original. Now it's like the one you're seeing today is the reboot of one that I didn't even see, which was a reboot of one that I saw as a teenager, which was a reboot of the one I saw as a kid, which was a reboot of my parents' movie. When did we stop and just start recycling, you know?
That's my question is where is the breaking point? There'll have to be like a declaration out of Hollywood or something where like we're never doing a sequel again. We're only starting fresh, only new ideas from here on forward.
Yeah, you have to.
Well, I thought it was going to end for Jurassic Park because the last movie bombed. Nobody liked it. Nobody went to go see it. It used to be this idea is making no money, so we're not going to continue it anymore.
I got an idea. We'll make popcorn holders
yes,
in the shape of the T-Rex footprint.
No!
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. I see where you're at with that. I'm in it. I'm with it. As long as I get a fresh new popcorn bucket, then I'm happy with the,
Yeah, I don't know. When does it end? I don't think it ever...
We need a cultural reset. They need to nuke America, and then a new America comes up, and we start creating new ideas culturally.
You know who I blame, though, is the producers. Because at what point does this writer come into your office? Hey, Frank, I got the new script. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. Hear me out. Jurassic Park with a chick. Like, at what point do you just fire me and be like, "Can we get some new fucking writers in here?" You know what I mean?
Well, Hollywood used to work a little differently. It used to be someone had a script, and a script would float around and be passed around different companies, and then eventually it would land at like Miramax or something, or you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you'd end up getting Face Off or something ridiculous, you know, but
Right.
original, an original movie. And so that's how, you know, an original script was written, it eventually lands somewhere and they make the movie. Now they just have the
What?
idea.
The one actor that never gets rebooted, Nick Cage. Nobody even
Yes.
attempts to do those movies. You don't want to do like a Gone in 90 Seconds? Nah, we're good. We're good.
You just blew my mind, man. I don't think they've ever made a sequel of any Nick Cage movie.
One, but I don't think it had to be like in the contract because it was like kind of a Marvel or whatever. Ghost Rider.
Oh, I forgot he was Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
Holy
see, that's the only
cow.
exception because superhero, you got to do 2. But even then, I'm sure there was supposed to be 3, but he was like, no.
That's right. I'm done. I'm gonna go
2
home
was
and
enough.
I'm gonna go home and oil my T-Rex skull. All right, I'm busy.
Nick, 1 is enough. Cage.
Yeah, one and done. Nick Cage, man. Hell yeah. No, but he does such original movies and concepts that there almost can't be a sequel. Like you can't do, The Rock 2.
No, you just redo it with a different actor. You Roadhouse it.
You Roadhouse it.
Yeah, it's the same movie, same script, different actors. It'd be great.
Oh man. Well, Mike, we're cruising along here, winding
Like
down.
they're coming out with the new Running Man.
Yeah, without Arnold, I'm really upset with that one. No, that there should be a rule you can't redo the Arnold movies, man, unless it's Arnold.
I blame Arnold. He should have made that a law when he was governor.
Well, they asked Arnold in his recent interview, I think it was on The View, they asked him which of the Terminators is his least favorite, and he said specifically Terminator Salvation, because when they made it, he was governor of California and he couldn't be in the movie. So it's the only Terminator movie he's not in, so therefore it's the worst Terminator movie.
That's not even a real Terminator
That's what I'm
movie.
saying. And you know what? He's right on the money, dude. That is so on point in my book, man. And right there, that should be how we stop making the sequels and the reboots and all that. You know, if the OG guy isn't in it, then it's a whole different concept.
It's done.
It's done. I'm gonna officially stop watching movies though when they remake Back to the Future. If they ever remake Back to the Future, I'm denouncing Hollywood in full.
Oh, they're probably waiting for him to die.
No, I believe the 2 creators of Back to the Future signed a clause or something. They own the rights to Back to the Future, and it'll never be made into another movie again, allegedly. That's what I've heard. But here we are. We're doing 20 Jurassic Parks, and I'm sure there's another Terminator coming down the line at some point. And we're in the middle of some 2-decade-long marathon Avatar continuum of sequels that I like.
Oh yeah, there's like 4 more in
There's
the
more.
pipeline.
Yeah, there's so many more. They've already
4 more.
The last one, which I didn't see, they apparently filmed the 3rd one while they filmed that one, and so the 3rd one's coming out, and then they have like a 4th and 5th, and it's just
Avatar
too much.
Waterworld.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Take out Kevin Costner, you put a bunch of blue aliens. It's
I think
Waterworld.
that was the last one, dude. I think that's what they did. Yeah. They should have kept in Kevin Costner, man, with the webbed feet. He's just swimming past all the
what a
avatars.
great movie. Kevin Costner, another one they don't redo, huh? You'll see, like the new Postman.
That's right, dude. You're psycho. I was just thinking.
Great movie. Don't care what anybody says.
Oh man, a little bloated in the time, but otherwise,
It's a long one.
Good stuff.
What's funny is every time I've ever watched The Postman, there's a point where you fall asleep, you wake up, and you're like, "Is this the same movie?" I can't even. What happened in the 15 minutes I dozed off that this is the same movie? You know? Good movie.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, Mike, we're cruising along. We are near the end. Is there anything you want to pop into the docket? Last chance.
Something that really pissed me off this morning. Taking a shit. Open up the news app. One of the first news articles. TSA just decided no more shoes.
Yes, man.
Then why the fuck have we been doing it for 20 years? If it was just this is the real ID all over, man. Like what?
Oh man, I am as shocked as you are. This literally means they did it for no reason, just to annoy us and ruin our experience traveling. We're not taking our shoes off anymore.
We are in the middle of a very busy summer travel season, and a major change could be coming to an airport near you.
Yes, the TSA appears ready to tweak the rules when it comes to security screenings and end that requirement that has long frustrated passengers taking off your shoes. NBC's Tom Costello covers aviation. He's at Reagan National for us. So, Tom, good morning. Walk us through it, pun intended, and what it means for flyers.
Yeah. I like the pun. And listen, I think your language is right. Tweaking the rules here, right? We're going to see, according to people we've talked to, the TSA starting to reduce or eliminate the need to take off your shoes, but only at select airports. It's a trial program.
A trial?
I love it. We're going to try it.
It's already in a very early,
We're going to try
stages.
it. We'll see how many shoe bombs we get in the next 18 months. If it's a reasonable amount of shoe bombs, we'll roll it out nationally.
The
you know?
fucking trial, dude. I'll tell you exactly what will happen. The line will move faster. That's like the only thing that'll happen. Yes. It'll move faster.
I love the idea how we had like 60 years of air travel, no shoe bombs. Then we had one guy, maybe a setup.
He was working with the feds. There's no doubt.
Try the shoe bomb. And then we had to fucking take off our shoes for 20 years before they're like, all right, maybe we're clear of the shoe bomb.
I don't think people remember traveling before 9/11, man. It's crazy. We didn't have those air puff machines where they're spraying who knows what at you.
Oh, no. And you could bring like a full bottle of shampoo.
You could have a bottle of water with you when you walked on the plane.
Imagine.
Oh, man. The duty free. There used to be the duty. Do have
duty free? Yeah.
Do they have any duty free anymore at the airports anywhere?
Yeah, it's you usually don't see it though because it's in the international. Like ours is at Terminal 5. You never fly out of Terminal 5.
I feel like you used to be able to buy booze at the airport, like bottles of booze.
I was too young for that. I don't know.
I was always paying attention. Where's the booze at?
Where's the booze?
But it's just amazing how much traveling has changed since 9/11 and the restrictions on our freedoms to just travel as an adult. And the taking off the shoes, did we always do the belt too, or did the belt and shoe thing happen around the same time?
No, the belt, well, that's just for the metal detector.
So the metal detector.
Always been always been a thing, yeah.
And because back in those days, you just had to walk through a metal detector. You didn't have to do the arms up there, spread the legs, adjust the crotch, make sure there's nothing in the midsection, and then get the Scantron thing going around you, nuking you like you're in a microwave.
Make sure you chub up a little bit because they're going to see you know what I'm saying? You don't want them to think.
That's right, yeah. I'm always working up a half chub as I'm walking into the security line.
I'm a grower, not a shower. I'll tell you.
But it's crazy
that how takes away 4 inches.
It's the fly on the zipper. It contorts the view, makes it look smaller than it really is.
Is that picture metric?
I have a sticker on my jeans that says objects in mirror may appear smaller than what they seem. So funny though that
20 years.
Yeah, it was the belt. You walk through the metal detector. You can have water. You can have shampoo, toothpaste. You can have whatever. You walk right through. And then 9/11 happens, and we got the Scantron machine nuking us as we walk through there. And then the FBI staged a phony shoe bomb plot where the dude I don't even think he even had a shoe with a bomb in it yet, if I
Oh,
remember
no,
correctly.
nothing happened. He was a passenger held him down until they
Right.
landed, and then he got arrested.
Oh, he did have the bomb in the shoe already?
Yeah, I think he had like some explosives in his shoe.
Because I swear the shoe bomber, they just like got him at his house making the shoe.
Oh, no, he was on the airplane.
This guy was totally insane looking. Richard Colvin Reed.
Yeah, you see that guy?
Holy cow, man. What a nut
Yeah, he was
job.
on the plane. He attempted to detonate his shoes.
Holy cow. This guy's just a total weirdo.
In December of 2001. Dude, imagine trying that shit fucking...
Oh, man. And that's how you know this was a psyop and it was run by the three-letter agencies. Of course they pulled this crap. What sane person 2 months after 9/11 would be like, I'm going to pull some shenanigans on an airplane right now?
Could you imagine? For those that don't remember, man, it was like the whole year after 9/11. Everybody was hyper aware. You couldn't...
It was not a good time to be a Muslim American that year. I'm going to throw it out there.
Or to try anything on a plane.
Yeah, no, I mean, they were... Because that 9/11 is when we started getting the agents, the federal marshals or whatever.
The marshals on board.
I don't know if they're still doing it now because we've defunded everything that involves law enforcement, but wasn't it they had at least one marshal on every flight, basically?
No, I don't know if it was every flight. But I did I did watch this thing, and it was really interesting that what made 9/11 so crazy and almost too easy for them is prior to 9/11, everybody was trained on the flight crew to give in to the hijacker commands.
Wow, like the DB Cooper guy.
DB Cooper, because prior to 9/11, every plane takeover, they would try to divert you to Cuba or something, try to get money. It was always about getting money. You're holding them for the ransom. And then 9/11 was the first time they used the plane. They didn't want anything. They just crashed the plane.
Right, yeah. The plane is the weapon, people. Oh, man.
It changed everything.
You know, the way you just said it right there, 9/11, still doesn't make any sense. Like, nothing about that. Like, I'm sorry. I remember back then it was believable that these Muslim guys were promised 99 virgins in heaven, and that's why they were so gung-ho to fly these planes in. But I don't know. At this point, I feel like we just had some secret op guys that were from Saudi Arabia, and they took over the planes, landed them over at Diego Garcia, that secret military island. We probably just killed all the people on the flights and then, flew some drones into the buildings.
I mean, the narrative we were sold was that Saudi citizens who were poor farmers in Afghanistan were recruited by Al-Qaeda to travel to America, take pilot lessons. And then hijack a plane.
Yeah, that's right. And for a month or two of flying a Cessna, they were able to commandeer a full 720 jet and fly it perfectly into the buildings.
2 into the building, 1 into the Pentagon. That's the best one.
I know.
The plane that never was. The plane that evaporated.
Dude, there's 0 plane wreckage at the Pentagon site, man. Like, a missile hit the Pentagon. That's all that happened.
Dude, that was so funny. I saw this it was a doctored video of the Pentagon footage. They're like, you could obviously see a plane, and it's like the light streak, but then it pauses, and it's literally like a cutout from a newspaper of a plane, like taped onto the screen. And then it cuts back to the actual video. Like, dude, that's literally what they sold us.
Dude, that's how stupid they think we are, though, man. Right?
It really is.
Yeah.
The 2 Saudi nationals, I mean, they literally said these guys were recruited from farms in Afghanistan. They were 14th century cavemen.
I know. It makes absolutely no sense. And amazingly, one of the passports survives the crashing of the
passport, and
towers.
they found it. That is the most dude, that is the most incredible.
Yeah. Well, the further we get away from it, it just makes no sense. Literally, every element of the official narrative of 9/11 is nonsensical and unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
And then you find out we spent more money investigating January 6th than 9/11.
Not only that, I mean, think about how it was like publicly played live on TV. Was anything of the 9/11 commission live on TV?
No, no.
Yeah, of course not.
Expose this. The meantime, January 6th, we got fucking 90 days of Adam Kinzinger crying on TV.
And apparently proof that Trump is the Red Hulk and he actually can take on an entire car of Secret Service and drive it himself while he's fighting them off.
Oh, also while he's fighting dementia.
Right, yeah.
He's just like feeble, dementia-ridden old man who just took on 2 Secret Service while driving the car.
Trying to
Towards
180 it
the
back.
insurrection. He's trying to lead his people into taking over America in an armed insurrection.
His army of insurrectionists who have no weapons, right? They're gonna take over the country. Yeah.
No weapons. Yeah.
Oh man, the official narrative is always just a bunch of bullshit. Just like with JFK and the JFK Commission, whole lot of bullshit. And then this week it came out that there was a high-level intelligence officer in connection with Oswald in the years leading up to the assassination. And it just takes a certain amount of time, and eventually the truth comes out. It's revealed, and then here we are. We're staring down the barrel of a life of freedom, not having to take off our shoes when we go through the TSA at the airport. Glorious. It only took 25 years.
Did you ever go down that rabbit hole of the Kennedy-Lincoln similarities?
I have seen this many times. They both entered Congress in 1846, 1946.
1946.
They both became presidents 1860, 1960. Both were assassinated 63.
63.
I believe
yeah.
Lincoln had a Kennedy in his cabinet and Kennedy had a Lincoln on his cabinet, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a few other connections, I think, if I'm not.
They both had 3 children and lost one while in the White House.
Wow, that is almost 2 on the nose. Holy cow, man. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a few other connections there.
They were both elected in 60.
Yes, 60. And
that's what it is. Kennedy had a secretary named Mrs. Lincoln, and Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy, John Kennedy.
Oh, dude, come on. So it means
so their names, Lincoln and Kennedy, both have 7 letters. Then their killers both have 15 letters in their 3 names.
3 first names or whatever.
3 first names, not 3 first names, but they John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald are both 15 letters.
Crazy, man. Someone needs to update this and connect it with that Thomas Anderson Crooks fella who tried to assassinate Trump.
Right.
I wonder what's
the other thing.
there.
Both of them were assassinated then by 1 bullet. Both assassins were assassinated afterwards. Booth shot Lincoln in a theater and fled to a warehouse where he was found. Oswald shot Kennedy from a warehouse and then fled to a theater.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. Holy cow. Yes.
Yeah.
Now that we're at the point where we don't believe the single bullet theory and a lot of people think that there were other things going on with Kennedy, can we start questioning the Lincoln assassination?
Oh, I'm already beyond it. And that's the thing too, is both of them were at a time where they were fighting for civil rights.
Yeah.
And
yeah, man,
it's crazy. I mean, Lincoln freed the slaves.
Yeah, but they didn't find out about it for 2 years in Galveston, Texas. That's why we celebrate Juneteenth. Come on, bro. I'm just that is really mind-blowing stuff, the connections there. And I often question what happened with Kennedy, never think about Lincoln and how maybe there was some sort of New World Order, grandiose super plot. I'm sure there were Rothschilds running the show back then.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they've been around forever.
They've been
That
around
name
forever.
just pops up in history, man.
For like 1,000 years going back, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy. These creatures have been in control for far too long. So
It's gonna be interesting. I hope I live to see who's president in 2060. See if they
good
get shot.
call. So if that
Yeah.
president gets assassinated, then we're seeing a trend. Can we just say that right now?
Like he gets into the White House, he's got 3 kids, and then one dies. Then you just
Yes.
never see him again. He resigns and fucking.
I've seen this script before. They're just rebooting this like Jurassic Park, man. This is crazy.
Oh, that was the other thing. They were both. The guy who took over after them was Johnson. Both of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is super messed up. Holy cow.
That one blew my mind. That one was weird.
Yeah. Johnson's a very evil guy. The more modern one. I'm going to throw it out there. But one of my favorite things about Johnson is he was often quoted as saying to reporters, he would pull out his penis in front of reporters and ask them if they had ever seen something so big.
God, we need that kind of president.
That's what we need, men back in the White House, man. That's why people like Trump, right? He's the kind of guy that would pull out his dong and
Like
say,
if Stormy Daniels would have talked about him, he would have been the next guest on Jimmy Kimmel just to whip it out.
Well, you know, Stormy Daniels went on the Johnny Carson show, and Johnny Carson had a bunch of Italian meats, you know, just cased sausages, massive salami, you know, mortadella, a capicola, you know, which one were we talking here with old
Was
Johnson?
it the William Dafoe?
Oh, man. Well, Mike, I can't believe I'm saying it. There's no doubt about it. This is the fastest hour in the universe. I want to thank everybody for hanging out, enjoying the good times and great oldies. Thanks to everybody for chiming in the chat. And we will be back on Sunday, hopefully. Mike's moving this weekend, so
Hopefully I make it.
Hopefully you get the internet set up and we're good to roll. And I'm sure plenty more will take place over this next week. I'm positive we missed several things from the docket, but we'll get back around to it on Sunday. I want to wish everybody a great rest of your week and a fantastic weekend. And as usual,
You know it's a dud because it's been on there twice now, and we never even got to it. America Party.
Dude,
you're already over. It's already over. Hang it up.
You know, the funny thing about the American Party is, and I saw this floated out there, and I think I agree with it, which is Musk is creating it to screw with the Democrats in the midterms coming up, because third parties always ruin the chances for the Democrats.
I think he would take more Democrats than Republicans.
A lot of people
but
are
he's
claiming
going to take a lot of the people that voted Republican just for Trump.
Maybe. There's a big maybe with that one. But I see where you're at with it. But
there's a lot of people who voted for Trump, but they don't like Marco Rubio and Mitch McConnell and Ted Cruz. They hate Ted Cruz. People hate Ted Cruz.
They really hate Ted Cruz. Who brought more over to the MAGA, Musk or RFK?
Good call.
And RFK, Maha is still with MAGA. That's why I keep going back to that. I think it was a phony feud that took place publicly between Elon and Trump. I think Elon, for the sake of saving Tesla and his businesses, he needed to separate from Trump. And then I think from a 4D chess standpoint, Elon then decides, well, I'm going to ride this public wave of anti-Trumpism. I'm going to start my own third party. And then he's going to get a bunch of Democrats to join him over there, allegedly. I think
you give people too much credit.
I do give people too much credit. Yes.
Our politicians, they're never going past the 2D.
Great call.
You know
yeah.
what I
And
mean?
the 2D is just dollars and cents. That's basically all they're seeing.
That's it.
The only thing they focus on is chemtrails, people. That's the only thing that they're
Only
dedicating
thing.
all energy and money towards. Oh,
Always.
man. We are there. I want to thank you all once again. And DJ Rodfather playing us off into the evening. We will see you all on Sunday.
Some of us got to go to work.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. I'm so sorry.
Terrible.